Thank you for coming today and kind of experimenting with us. I had this conversation with Mike, and I was like, listen, we just got to do more online opportunities. And he had some really great ideas. So I'm just kind of going to let him go with it and see where it takes us. We want to do this on a regular basis. So we're going to develop these based off of our experience today. So you're kind of in our guinea pig situation, which is great because you get to be part of the creative process. Um, I am recording the session, and then we are going to be posting these videos so everyone can have access to them. Um, also, yeah, Mike's muted, camera's off till later. And I think most of you know Mike from the Palo Alto chapter. He's the host down there in Palo Alto. And if you don't, well, then you need to get down there when we're back up and running in person. I'm sure everybody's missing each other. So that's it for me. I'm going to mute myself, and Mike can take it from here. And do use the little chat box there. All right, welcome everyone.
All right, thank you so much, Poppy. So the show goes on online. Thank you everyone for joining in today. It's a true pleasure bringing this conversation to West Coast songwriters at a time when most of the world is socializing online. So welcome today. Please do be aware that in the case of any internet glitches that the service providers and services have limited bandwidth at the moment. So if my face freezes or the video freezes in an unflattering way, just go with it. It happens. So West Coast Songwriters encourages building community and collaboration between songwriters, industry professionals, and musicians to share their talents, develop a network. Over the last couple months, especially locally in Silicon Valley over the last couple weeks, our livelihoods have both been challenged and accelerated. Online concerts, writing sessions, and remote studio work are just a few ways that we have made the show go on online. And I know a lot of us who have joined today and several who will listen to this after the fact come from different backgrounds in the music industry. So I'm hoping to touch on at least some aspects that we could focus on in our current situation, and also tools that will help us beyond. So today I will be introducing and discussing some ways to inspire, tips for online performances, ways we can get through the next few weeks working from home, and with your input, start a discussion between West Coast Songwriters members and viewers of the video to follow. So I encourage you all to follow each other online at our social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Mike Annuzzi, and that's Mike, M-I-K-E, Annuzzi, A, 2 N's, U, 2 Z's, I, and my hashtag is Mike at the mic. So for those who don't know who I am, like Poppy said, I'm a West Coast Songwriters member, a TV host for the West Coast Songwriters Palo Alto chapter at Mid-Penn Media Center with our amazing producer, Pete Summer, who is also joining us today. Hey, Pete, how you doing? And to more fully introduce my background, I like to tell everybody the roles that I have worked in the music industry. I hope that some of the diversity that I have experienced with all my roles will also help others think about the music industry more broadly. I'm a singer-songwriter, performing musician with over 200 dates annually for many years. This year is surely different. I'm a music producer, studio owner, and I just released a new single of my song called Give Me Some of That last Friday. I'm a studio musician and also perform with artists as a hired gun. I've worked as a recording engineer and producer for a high-tech company. I have licensed music to movies and brands, and I have even had some of my music played on terrestrial radio around the state of California. I've also worked as a talent buyer, which is someone who is given a budget to bring musicians to a performance venue. I have been a music promoter where I connect musicians to a venue around the state of California. I've assisted artists in career development. I've worked in radio marketing and promotions, and I have even been one of the lead security staff for the concerts at the California Mid-State Fair. That was a challenging job, but I got to work with some pretty incredible artists. So back to all of us, it's important that we stay connected, especially with West Coast songwriters, to bring us all together in this type of capacity. So I'd like to welcome you all by name. I know we have several folks that joined in today. Poppy, thank you so much. Again, Pete, welcome. Gary, Dada, Brian, John, thank you all so much for joining us. Please feel free to send questions at any time while I'm talking today. I'll try and keep up. The questions come in another box, so I might be tapping over to that box to read them. But I'll try my best to keep up. And if we have time at the end, I absolutely would love to have any of the members here give any last minute thoughts or questions or concerns or anything like that. So for everyone that is with us live on this conference, when you are talking, please do include your role in the music industry, your website, and any social media handles. That'll help us all stay connected together. Okay, so let's talk shop. Luckily for musicians, our job requires us to have some sort of online presence, and this allows us to be creative working from home on our own, even collaborating with others. So whether or not musicians are going to work right now, performing or in the studio or working in songwriting sessions, or we all have a job to do right now. So from my perspective, in my opinion, it's that all the topics that I mentioned today are things that we could now and should do always to keep focused. So number one, stay healthy. Since the gym is closed, I recommend everyone do some sort of exercises from home. Everyone's at a different level here, but it's important to keep the blood flowing. Eat well and don't go out. Along with staying healthy, I like to recommend practicing your craft, whether it be vocal exercises, learning new songs or riffs, or just keeping up to date with the latest gear and technology. This is all something you could do with the support of just a simple online search. So keep your mind working as much as your body. We all have to stay healthy because soon enough we will have more gigs that will take us out of our homes and into the world again. So another suggestion to get the mind working is to read books or watch videos and research your favorite artists or people who inspire you. Don't feel that you have to compare your progress with others, just compare it with yourself, but you will get a better understanding and learn so many new tricks that will help you create and share you more effectively. So this is a terrific jumpstart to getting your brain and your body working on a healthy you. So number two, get organized. Whether it's tidying up your cables in your studio or your live rig, getting your notes in order in your songbooks, or cleaning up your desk or your room, just making your creative space a workable space. It's not always easy if you're used to a dedicated work area and now compromising with a new location and setting, but it's totally doable when you plan and you set up the space to fit your needs. So for example, I am used to having a studio space where all my instruments are set up and ready for recording, but now I'm using my bedroom closet as a recording studio. I was able to get some of my essential gear from my studio and set it up in the closet. That is now the best space that I have available for capturing audio recordings because the clothes in my closet minimize the reflection of sound. So that's where I set up. Number three, make a list. I'm basing this all around the gear that you have available because when you have a list of your gear, it makes things easy when you know what you have to work with. I maintain a list just so I know. Oh, hey, how's it going, Gary? Welcome in. Yeah, so I maintain a list just so you know what my capacity and capabilities are on projects, but also when I don't need gear anymore. I know what to sell and I know how to downsize or expand in different areas of my needs. And right now, especially since the finances are being really hit hard, I plan on selling a few pieces of gear that I never use, maybe things that I bought on impulse or gear that I decided wouldn't fit my studio anymore. So there are so many sites online that you can list gear, and there's always someone looking for what you have to sell. I'm listing this part right now under lists, but understanding where you can allocate your finances, because you might want to make purchases on new gear. This is a great time to invest in your career, especially if you have always wanted to be able to record from home or edit videos. You can start simply with free software. A lot of computers come with if you have an Apple GarageBand. iMovie. I know a lot of artists, top artists, who have used these softwares to create some brilliant work. So number 4, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to listen to music outside of your comfort zone or genre. It might surprise you how much this helps you get better at writing what you love. If you play guitar, you can sit, hey Dada, thanks for joining in. It might surprise you how much this helps you get better at writing what you love. If you play guitar, you can sit at home while you're watching TV or YouTube or streaming music online and just jam along with the music that you hear. Sparks just start flying, and you can develop a deeper understanding of not only your playing capabilities and writing, but what creates great music by jamming along to whatever it is that you're listening to. So whenever I watch TV or listen to music, I ask myself, can that be my song? Or can my song fit there? It's just a really helpful and very positive way to create music. Number 5, this is the big one of the day. Help each other. This is huge, especially right now. We're talking about bringing music online today, and I don't know about your social media networks, but mine are filled from morning to night with incredible performances of both musicians I know and musicians that I am a big fan of. I'm absolutely loving the content. Facebook can't even keep up with all the data its servers are processing right now. It's unreal. So with all that being said, we as musicians have a duty to entertain others with our music. People are wanting, they're needing, and they're consuming more content on the internet these days than just a couple of weeks ago. So I highly recommend that you log in online and go live and play some of your songs on your social network, because people need that boost right now. And music makes others happy. You will be helping someone else who's stuck at home just get through part of the day and give them some excitement. So most of our online friends will absolutely be supportive, even if we make mistakes in our live online performances, live online performances. I personally have shared content from friends who are performing live or who have music releases and videos, because we all need that little help and push right now. So that's why I encouraged everybody to link up on social media and follow each other online, because we're all here together. So this is a very uncertain time for musicians who are building content, but it is so reassuring when you have that community backing us up and supporting us. And I'm just so grateful for West Coast songwriters being that for me personally. I know a lot of you as well. So my feeling is that performing online is not just an opportunity to market yourself, but more importantly, it is to share your music with others. Your friends on social media aren't just numbers and likes and views. They are people with feelings going through a very difficult time right now. Everyone wants reminders of happiness. So fortunately for us, we have the ability to make others happy through song. So let's talk about the online live thing. Facebook and Instagram are my go-tos for live content and sharing. It's so easy to create an experience for fans. I always use my cell phone. That's what I'm using right now. And the audio quality and video quality is outstanding on most newer smartphones. It makes it really easy for us. So, I mean, I used a photo actually that I took from my cell phone as my recent single cover art, and I created video content leading up to my release with my cell phone. It's just absolutely outstanding what technology we have in our pockets right now. So I use the apps for both Instagram and Facebook directly from my cell phone. You can do this on Facebook from your computer. Pete, I know that you have a recommendation as well. I hope you input that part at the end. You can use Facebook on your computer or from your cell phone. It's super easy on Facebook if you log into your account, and right near the status bar where you can update your status, there's like a button that says live. Just click on that and you get a preview screen where you can limit your audience to either private, public, or choose friends that you directly want to see that content. So you can also write a comment in that box that is attached to that video. In the comment section, I've included links to my releases where people can purchase the song, or links to my website, or especially lately, links to my PayPal account so people can send an electronic tip. It's surprising how many people support live music, and again, you are responsible for entertaining everyone who is tuning in. It's funny when people start logging onto your live and they comment. It's something that you have to get used to and not get distracted by when you're playing, but it makes an interactive experience, and it makes it just very interactive. And that's why going live on social media is completely different than uploading a video to, say, YouTube, or playing live in person, fixed and edited, versus live and in the moment. So on Instagram, it's also a really easy step to get live. All you do is log into your account, click on the home button. It's really easy. If you have your phone right in front of you, you can follow along too. Just click on the home button, then your story. You can touch it and swipe to the right, which brings up your camera. Then at the bottom toolbar section, you just scroll over and choose live. It's super easy when you get there. You could listen back to this if you need help, or just any online search can help you get there. But going live is just that easy. It's literally click the button. So those who follow you on social media also get notifications when you go live. So even in an unplanned impromptu live show that you want to put together, you'll likely get at least a few of your friends to see what you're doing. Some artists are even planning on live shows where they schedule a date and time and market that for fans to log in and watch the performances. One of the cool things about Facebook Live is that the videos that you create can remain on your profile if you choose to. So others will be able to see that content later. If you feel like it's a really great performance, I love keeping it. If I feel like it wasn't super good, or I just didn't connect, I delete it, and that's totally fine. It's just a lot of fun and really, really easy to do. After you end your live session, you can choose whether to share it or download it or delete it. So it makes it very simple to follow, just step by step: start, live, stop, end, So I highly encourage you to give it a try. But I know a lot of musicians who do very complicated setups with green screens in the background and special lighting or sets and pro audio capturing through their audio interface. It's like a full-on concert experience. But I also have seen some people, some of my favorite artists actually, performing from their cell phone captures just on their tour buses and in their bedrooms, in their PJs, and so on. So it's like a house concert if you've ever been to one of those, only now it's broadcast from your house to your fans' houses. So any way you go live online, it will offer an incredible way to connect with others. That's really what's important here. I encourage you to give that a try. It's a lot of fun, and people could really use that entertainment and musical love that you have to offer right now. So let's talk about a few more ideas to keep focused, stay inspired, and work from home, especially during this time. But honestly, like, these are good tools to have in the bag. So number 6, update old songs. So have you ever written a song that's like 75% there and just never finished it? Well, now's your chance to bring that song to life. You might have a new viewpoint on lyrics, or just be able to connect the dots to get it to 100%. I often use old songs of mine to try to play them, and I try to play them in a different style. Sometimes I re-record the songs, and instantly I create new music with old music. So I had a song one time that was kind of in the vein of Jason Mraz, and very poppy, acoustic, love ballady, and then I changed it to more of a reggae style sound. And it worked. It was a brand new way of conveying the same song. It instantly built my catalog and grew a different aspect of my music. So in collaborative settings and co-writes, I've also taken lines from songs that I never finished, but I really knew that I liked those lines, and I contributed that old content with a whole new meaning. So this is an outstanding time to do collaboration online. Overall, the interwebs, everything that we have to offer. We're using the GoToMeeting app right now, and this is proving to be an absolutely terrific medium for this kind of interaction. So number 7, how you guys doing? Everybody good? All right, number 7, reach out to others. If you've ever worked in a group setting, you definitely know who's the weakest link and the strongest link. So especially if you're working on a project with someone else, you want to be as invested in it as they are. So you can ask your colleagues, friends, fans if they need help. We're all trying to hold things together right now, and just offering support to others who need it will make this time better for others. Personally, I've had a lot of gigs cancel all the way through July. We don't know what's coming up. I have more time now to record and produce music since I'm not traveling and playing live shows. It's amazing how much we can reallocate our time and still create more music. I encourage everyone to be a little bit forgiving with others, especially themselves. If you have strict deadlines, do your absolute best to meet them, but realize that others are working from home and not necessarily in a normal working capacity. So that being said, try to be proactive. Do your best to provide the best you can, even if you don't have the normal work setting. Easier said than done, but trying is definitely the most important part here. So I mentioned that I set up a studio in my closet, and I have the bare minimum gear available to me right now, but even my hard drive is running, and you can faintly hear the sound of my hard drive in the recordings. But I found a trick to put the hard drive in my dresser. I'm covering it up with a couple of t-shirts, and it's dampening the sound a little bit. So I'm just setting clothes in a certain area of the closet so extra noise will be absorbed, and put a blanket over the closet door just to minimize sound reflection. So that's kind of typical. When you're in a space that you're not used to, you got to make do with what you have. So I've literally been squashed in my closet for days, recording and mixing projects, editing and writing, and it's actually pretty fun, but I still have I still have corporate and high demand projects that are depending on me. So you just do what you can do. If you ever wanted to reach out to somebody to do a co-write with them, now could be a really great time to do that. So many people are stuck at home and inspiration just isn't sparking, but they also have projects that they want to complete. So getting together creatively in a forum like this could be just what the doctor ordered right now. So let's move on to number 8, sleep. Sleep. A lot of people need to stay busy all the time, like work overload and such. I'm completely used to traveling a lot and being on from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. But now we have a lot of other things to focus on, including staying healthy. I noticed the other day that my creative workflow just wasn't working, so I took a whole day off. It's definitely not something that's normal for me, but I didn't even play guitar for a full day. This is just a good time to take advantage of the snooze button on your alarm clock if you need it. Number 9, make a plan. So this goes out especially to all those that are planning something like a release, recording, tour, or other projects. Set your plans. I mentioned I just released my new single, and after that recording was done, it took weeks to plan the release. You can create so many projects in between the writing part, the recording part, and the release. Some examples of what I did for this release are photo shoots, press releases, videos, live performance videos, Like I said earlier, people are consuming so much content online right now. There's just a lot of opportunities to get your music out. So, number 10, it's called music business for a reason. Get your business in order. Whether you learn legal stuff, the copywriting of your songs, joining a PRO, you need to have that stuff set up. There's just so many great resources online, books on the business, on marketing, booking, writing, recording, producing, artist management, streaming music online, just to name a few. Whatever you're looking for, there's something online you could find. So much of the resources that I have used over the years come out of West Coast songwriters, especially at the conference. So I have absolutely utilized all the resources that West Coast Songwriters has available. Highly recommended. So at this point, I think I'm going to start closing out here and opening up this forum if anyone else wants to contribute. There's a saying that it takes 10,000 hours to master something, but not everyone can master something in 10,000 hours. Some take more and some take way, way less. But the cool thing is progress doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be in motion in order to get better. In order to drive this content, in order to develop these skills, especially now when all of us have something additional weighing us down, just make the move. Get your body going, get your mindset, get organized, share your music, perfect or not. I used to be absolutely terrified of sharing music because I thought it wasn't done or I didn't think it sounded the way I expected. But the more I've been able to share my music, the more I can grow, and not just from feedback from my peers, but also seeing how others react in an audience. And with video and recorded content, I can play it back and critique my own work. Every single one of the tools that I have mentioned today helps me get through every day, work daily, and even when I'm stuck at home, it gives me something to look forward to. So I hope all of those 10 pieces of advice give you a lot of help. That being said, I hope that we can open this forum up to questions and answers, comments, concerns, anything like that. So, Poppy, if you're there,
I'm
let's make
here. I'm hiding, but I'm here. So I'm going to go
it
ahead and just start at the top of the list, and I'm going to unmute. Actually, Brian Lawley, are you? If you're interested in unmuting and introducing yourself, I think we can just go. We don't have a big group, and we can each individually introduce ourselves and pose any questions that we have. So Brian Lawley, if you would like to unmute your mic and introduce yourself, that would be great. Are you there?
Yeah, and please do include what role in the industry you're at and any social media links or anything like that too.
Okay, great. So it looks like Brian is no longer there. It looks like we've got Eric. Eric, are you there?
I'm here.
Hi,
Hang on. Let
Eric.
me.
Perfect. So
Oh,
go
okay,
ahead and
good. Can't tell if I'm hitting the right button.
you're
Um,
good.
so a quick summary of me, I guess. I am a singer-songwriter, performer, producer, dot, 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 dating back to the late 70s, early 80s. Had my hand in all sorts of different parts of the business, a lot like it sounds like Mike's been, writing for film, writing for video, record production. I spent 15 years with as a private studio engineer, and learned my craft there in studio production. But um, I'm back to writing again. I've shelved everything else. I'm writing, and I have a band that I've played with for almost 30 years. I live up in Lake Tahoe, so we play and have fun up here. Um, I guess in terms of my question, I had some notes here, and one of the questions that popped up um, is there an easy to go tool? So here's what I'm thinking. Practical example. My band, 5 people. I'm thinking we could get together, and we have a regular gig we do once a month, and we're having to cancel it now. But I'm thinking we should do it online, and I'm trying to figure out, is there a way to mix people in that way, or is it just a total nightmare trying to get everybody to know where the beat is?
Ooh, that is, oh man, that's a very difficult question, Eric. I've seen a lot of people actually like a lot of bands have pre-recorded stuff, so they're all recording to a click. That's the only real way that I know that there would be no delay, because when there's an internet feed, there is going to be a constant delay. But if you all like, and this is not the going live status, but it could be something that you plan. It's out of my reach to know the answer to that specifically. If you all can log in online with no delay in between, there are apps like this one in particular has a very good, the go-to app. I know a couple other apps that have very good like delay compensation and stuff. But what I've witnessed recently is a lot of bands are using pre-recorded stuff and comping it together from the outside, so they are 100% in time, which would mean you're recording from home, you're comping everything in post, and then you're marketing, hey, we're going to put this out as that sort of thing. One of the things that I've used in the past too is YouTube Premiere, which basically it notifies all of your YouTube subscribers that you are going to have a showing. It's just like a movie premiere. Basically, it announces, you lead up to it, you can promote it, and then at, let's say 2 p.m. on Friday afternoon, Pacific Standard Time, that's when the curtains open up, da, 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 and here we are watching your YouTube premiere. So that's one way that you could do it. If I mean, especially if everybody is using a different type of digital audio interface, plus the fact it's streaming, it'd be very difficult to execute that live.
I figured that was likely the case.
That's just my opinion, though. But that's terrific, man. Congratulations to you. I'm very excited to hear about that. Is there anywhere that we could follow your band online or anything like that?
The band, so pretty much, sorry,
Eric,
what was that?
Eric, if you could put it in the chat box, that way we don't get it lost. You can say it as well, but if you guys if you want to put your email addresses, social media pages, whatever, put them in the chat box, because this all can be downloaded and I can send it out to everyone. So,
Which little button is that up on this? I haven't done go-to for a long time.
Do you see my message? I said hello.
No, I'm not seeing
It's
messages.
like a little comic book, when you have a comic book and there's like text and the person talking. It looks like that.
Okay. Little bubble there. Yeah,
Bubble,
definitely
the bubble.
locate that, because then you guys can, I obviously don't share people's personal contact information. And so it's up to you guys to kind of network like that. So if you're comfortable sharing your contact information with your fellow attendees, that could help you guys. If you choose to perhaps co-write together or do anything, you guys can go ahead and do that without having to go through me. So
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah, I'll figure out how to get that to you guys. And thanks for the opportunity. I enjoyed it. And also, Palo Alto High School graduate. So, hello. Grew up down there, right down the street.
Wow,
Thanks for joining me today. Great. Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, Gary, you want to go ahead and turn your mic on and introduce yourself?
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Hey, Gary.
We can hear you.
Oh, cool. Well, thanks, Poppy, for putting this together, and thanks, Mike, for hosting this. This is really cool for somebody like me. And so I'm mostly a writer, as you guys know. Don't do a lot of gigging because I just don't have the time for a band and that sort of thing. But I put something out there on Facebook, just, hey, I'm considering doing a live show for my friends. Anybody interested? And I got really quite a response, much bigger than I thought. So I kind of backed myself in the corner to having to do this, which is kind of cool because, we, like to your point, Mike, I mean, we should be helping people at a time that they need. If we can make them happier, that's when we're doing our job as writers. A couple questions though about online performances, having really never done one before. So do you have any suggestions for like introductions, what you should say, what you shouldn't say? Do you get right to the music? Do you talk between songs? What is a good length for an online show? Should you use background tracks, or is it better off to just, do it really live, like kind of like you do with a looper and that sort of thing? And then the other question I had for you along those same lines is it better to put it on your personal page where I have, 600 friends, or on my music page where maybe I have 150. So if you could address some of that, I'd appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Gary, so much for being here. You know, I'm a big fan of what you do, so I'm really happy that you're going to get online and share your music with all of us. We need it, and I'm rooting for you, man. Thank you for doing that. So basically, the first thing that I would suggest, like, it is very difficult to have a online experience. Like I was saying earlier, when the comments start coming in and your friends start liking your live thing, it gets very distracting. It is a very unique experience. What I typically do is I come in with my set list, just like I would any regular show. So I kind of know where I'm gonna be. I know that sometimes I've logged in and I've had like 2 people watching my live show, and I've also logged in and there's like 200 people watching my live show. So it's a totally unique experience. A lot of it is based on the algorithm of Facebook. A lot of it's your preparation and getting the word out. So that's one thing. What I like to do, and what I've noticed that a lot of artists like to do, is when they start, click on the live button, go live. A lot of artists like lead up to something, because Facebook and Instagram both announce to your followers, like I said. A lot of them get a post saying, you know, Gary is live right now. And then I could click on Gary's live video. So I like to let it marinate for a little bit. What I do is I kind of riff on my guitar. I say, hello, how's everybody doing today? Thank you so much for joining in. I give it about a minute, because after a minute, I start noticing those numbers go up. That's kind of what it takes. Unless somebody is online in the moment, or we've all prepared, like we know Gary's show is on Friday night at 7 p.m. and we plan on being there at that moment. That's kind of like you start, you get comfortable, you get in your space, you introduce what you're about to do. I recommend that at every show, especially for myself when I'm an artist that nobody really knows. So I go, I say, hey guys, how's it going? I'm a singer-songwriter, this is what I do, and I'm gonna share a couple songs with you today. It spreads out the start, but it also introduces yourself. And especially if you make your video public, on Facebook, like I was saying earlier, you can choose whether to make it a public video, which is shareable to everyone, or a private video, which is only available to the people that are accessing it in that moment, or it is, you can narrow it down to a specific group of friends. But where was I going with that? Basically, like, you're just preparing yourself for a nice show. You're preparing yourself for a quality performance. You execute the songs that you want to do. In between, it's so fun when I hear, hey, hey guys, how's it going? Thank you for checking in. And I've seen Pete Summer always checking into my live videos. Hey Pete, thank you so much for checking in. And Pete always comments back, hey, I'm practicing on my banjo with you right now, or something like that. It makes it a completely unique interactive experience. So go live, go live. I don't know, did I address all of that stuff? There was a couple others, I think.
What do you think about personal page versus a music quote unquote business page?
Yeah, I would go with the one that you, I mean, it's very difficult. For me personally, I use my personal page, not my Facebook page, to go live. And the cool part about that is it's so funny. The other day I went live and I had 2 friends from high school who I haven't seen since high school log in to my live performance on Facebook. They have never seen me live, but they're actually people that I truly care about them. You know, I've stayed in contact with them for a reason, because I love those people. You know, they're gonna be there for me. I'll be there for them whenever. And that's my personal profile. My page, I could share it to my page afterwards if I want to. The algorithm on Facebook actually makes it more difficult to share on a page or to build your page. It's so for me, I get a lot more interaction on a personal profile than a page or business profile.
Okay, great. I really appreciate that. One other quick question, maybe for you or anybody else that's listening in. You know, I used Pro Tools when it first came out, stopped using it because that thing blew up. didn't use any recording software, just had other people do that recording for me. But in a time like this, it gets expensive to do your own recordings all the time. And so I've used GarageBand, but it's just not really a high enough quality, or I just don't know enough about what I'm doing. If I was to try and step it up, I know that, Pete introduced me to a free version of Pro Tools, or I could jump into Logic for something a little bit less expensive, or I could try to get more proficient and polished, getting a higher quality recording on a GarageBand. Do you have any thoughts on any of those? What would be a good direction to take?
That's also a very, one thing that I would say on that is once you learn one of those softwares, you kind of understand all of them. So I was saying that you have to budget yourself and understand what finances you have to allocate to that. Honestly, if you learn one, you can sit in front of all of them. It's like learning how to play a guitar. You could probably play any guitar once you walk in the room. Are they all going to feel a little different? Sure. Are you going to play it a little different? Sure, but you know how to, and that's the important part. I would recommend just getting music out there in every way, shape possible. So I encourage that. You're a terrific artist. I've always been a fan, so just do it. Get it out there. People need it right now.
Well, thank you for the
Well,
kind words, Mike, and I say right back at you with what you're doing. So I'll go on to the next person. I won't take up too much time. Thanks, Poppy, again. Appreciate it. Thanks, Mike.
Thank
yeah,
you,
you're
Gary.
very welcome. It looks like Eric found the chat box and he's got a message there for you directly related to what you were asking, Gary. So make sure you check that out.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. John Corazon, you can go ahead and turn on your mic and introduce yourself.
You got me?
I gotcha.
Oh, cool. Okay. The introduction's going to be real quick. I'm singer-songwriter. I really have no, business. I mean, other than that, I do West Coast songwriter contests. I do I do a lot of open mics, and that's about it at this point. I've been doing this for a while, but only been taking it seriously for a few years. So um, uh, I've got a Facebook page. I have a few songs. I do record at home. I use GarageBand, and I think I don't get professional quality stuff, but I get fairly decent things. I've got a few songs on a SoundCloud page. I'll paste that in here in a second. And that's about it as far as my presence and my profile. I guess the one question I was thinking of, you said you're doing this on an iPhone now, and so you're in terms of equipment, and you go pretty pretty basic and pretty minimal. But I do notice with things like that the quality really varies like widely. For example, Poppy had a song screening thing last week sometime, and there were just a few people there, and the quality it just, some of it was really poor, some of it was good, and there was everything in between. So I'm wondering what kind of, I don't even know exactly what I'm expecting you to say, but what kind of thoughts do you have about trying to improve that, and also just what can we do to help people try to improve that?
Oh man, John, thank you so much for that question. It's a very, very difficult question to answer. There's so much to touch on that. One of the things that you mentioned, I am using a very low tech version, right? There are a lot of people, like I said, that are using completely high tech green screens in the background. Audio into their interfaces. One thing actually Gary would also probably like to hear is that some people are using like an amplifier in their microphone and they're setting it up. So there is some sort of processed audio. That is a very live feel, but again, it's just going through the microphone that is being picked up through your phone or your computer or whatever it is directly. as opposed to going through the audio interface. Now you can do that. You can set it up to go through your audio interface if that's what your computer settings are based off of, accepting just the sound of your audio interface.
That's
Or
actually what I'm using right now.
yeah. Oh, really? That's terrific.
Yeah, and it's a cheap little one. It's like one of the old Alesis IO2s. I mean, it's you could probably find people
Yeah.
giving them away these days, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I have to just interject for a second. I think that sometimes people overcomplicate things. And
Yeah.
I think that people are trying to set up the whole shebang, like we saw during that screening, where they're trying to get it so perfect, it ends up actually interfering. I think simple is
yeah,
best right now. People understand the limitations that we're experiencing, especially online. And I think like Mike's message was when we've been chatting was like, keep it simple and don't expect it to be perfect, and you might end up with a better product than you're thinking. I think if more people were doing just what Mike's doing right now during those evaluations, we would have a smoother experience,
yep.
instead of people trying to set up an entire microphone and the entire deal and trying to get the camera just right. I think we just have to dial it back a bit.
Absolutely, Poppy. I totally agree. I mean, some of the artists, like I said, are doing this from their tour bus, from their cell phone. There's some artists that I know that are on quarantine right now in their buses, and the only thing they have is a cell phone, and their guitar or something. And I've seen artists like Brad Paisley the other day. He posted a video that he was recording himself directly from his computer playing guitar, learning a Kelsey Ballerini song. It was like such a cool video. It was straight through the audio and video of his computer. It was so simple. And think about it, like he's the top of the tops, everybody kind of knows his name, and he's keeping it simple. And I think that's the best. The moral of the story, like Poppy said, is just sharing it. It's beautiful to be able to share it. And the easier it is for you to be able to do it, the easier it would be to get on there at any time. And this is the new internet. This is the new music business. Like even the day that everything opens back up and we're all going out and performing live in a real live setting, people are going to be expecting this now, to share music online. So I just recommend keeping it simple, keeping it easy. That's what I do, and it's been successful for me. I know a lot of other artists, it's been successful for them too. So I hope that helps. And John, that's really cool that you're using that audio interface. It sounds really good. I'm just wondering, what kind of microphone are you talking into right now?
Let's see. I got to look. Sennheiser E835.
Oh, cool.
I
And
like
then
those a lot
Would
better.
you
I like those a little better than SM58s.
yeah. Do you have any processing on it? Just wondering.
No, it's going straight from the, I've got the mic plugged straight into the interface, and the interface is straight into the computer. I'm using a Mac Mini, which has no mic on it, no nothing. So anything that I have to add to it.
Right.
Well, John,
So
since it sounds
yeah,
so good, would you mind sharing that in the chat box? Because there's going to be a lot of people that benefit from that information, just in the quality of the audio.
okay.
And it sounds like a pretty simple thing. If you could share that, that would be really great.
What exactly do
Your
you want me to
microphone.
share?
Just share,
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
share what kind of gear that you're
Okay.
using
Yeah.
for your home setup.
All right.
yeah, gear share.
Will do.
There you go.
Will do.
John, that's
Great.
awesome.
Thanks
Congrats, man.
so much, John. I really appreciate all that information.
And thanks.
All right. And then Pete Summer, do you want to say hello to everybody?
Sure.
There you are.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Well, gosh, I've been doing this since the dark ages, since there was when it started with tape back in the 60s. Started out in the music business. Took a lot of sideway trips, but currently with Vice President West Coast Songwriters producing the Palo Alto cable TV show. and just producing, having my home studio, doing a little writing myself, and performing banjo and guitar, mainly guitar, and that sort of thing. But to address the quality issue on video. Video is one of the segues that I took in my business career, putting the video on the Predator. But anyway, that's a segue. But the thing is the quality of the equipment that we're using, the phones, the computers, and everything is pretty good and pretty stable. Where you're really gonna run into hiccups and problems is the bandwidth, of the internet, of your Wi-Fi system. You gotta have throughput. Because what happens in video is they're called packet drops, and you're gonna have all sorts of bad video, bad audio, glitches and stuff. So as far as the receiving and the transmission equipment that we're all using these days. By the way, I'm on a Dixie cup and a string right at the moment, but no, actually I'm on a Logitech headset, which I have no clue as to how it sounds. But anyway, that's the input that I have on that, because the quality is pretty high on the current iPhones, Androids, computers and such. So that's your best part, but it's the bandwidth, it's your Wi-Fi and your internet that's gonna really bite you. There are some other options to what we're using right now, and that Zoom is one of the options, and I've seen a lot of our membership using Zoom. And there's in all types of software that you're using, or interfaces that you're using, you've got to tweak it. Zoom is set for for voice, for speech. So there is a setting inside to it hears music as noise. That's terrible for us to say, but that's what Zoom hears, and that you got to tweak it for music frequencies. So that's that. If you're going to go to Zoom and you have bad results and bad audio, make sure you make those tweaks in the audio portion of it. Other than that, any, Mike, did you have anything that you wanted me to?
So, Pete, I know that you've used Zoom more than I, and Poppy also. They're all just conference networking, like this GoTo app. So just making that clear,
Yeah,
right?
right. Yeah, they're just conferencing apps. And that thing is to be honest with you, I've downloaded Zoom, but I've never used it because I just haven't gotten to it. But GoToMeeting I've used before. I've used Skype. I've used
Right.
WebEx. And I noticed that Mira is going to be using the YouTube Live today. She's doing a YouTube Live show at 6 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, she is. She was funny this morning. I did a practice run with her because she's doing her workshop tomorrow with us on GoTo, and she had a camera set up for their show tonight, so she was trying to figure out how to get it on.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I've never used that. Or the thing is with Facebook Live, there's all sorts of tweaks that you can do on that too, reversing your screen, making sure that if you're wearing a T-shirt that's advertising yourself, and you want to make sure that that's presenting it, or you have a sign behind you, that's part of your marketing voice. You want to make sure that that's not reversed and backwards to distract people, or to not get your message out there. So there is a little setting in Facebook Live that you can flip the screen horizontally or vertically. So you want to make sure that if you're concerned with that you do that, and make sure that you're presenting yourself in the best possible way. And when we all clear from this, come on down to Palo Alto and get an HD video, and have Mike grill you as the host, and me grill you as the producer, to get this information to me right now. Anyhow, but Mike is doing a great job.
Just to touch on something briefly too, what Pete was saying is that I believe what you can do before you actually click live is preview everything on Facebook in particular. You see the video in front of you, so that makes it really useful. And Pete, those are a lot of great comments. The other thing is the bandwidth thing. If you are at home, let's say for example, your wife, your kids, everybody's streaming the highest definition quality YouTube videos or Netflix videos, and you're trying to stream a live video too, and your internet's downloading something, I mean, that'll be a way to cut your bandwidth use and dedicate, an hour, half an hour, 10 minutes of just going and doing one song live in a more available bandwidth setting. So, yeah.
Yeah, I have two teenagers at home and a husband working from home, and all of them are watching something different on Netflix right now. So it's super frustrating. Um, but
well, the cat
anyway,
doesn't
well,
use a computer, so I'm good.
all right. Well, thanks, Pete.
Thank you, Pete.
Get Dada. He hasn't come on.
All right, Dada, you're up next. Do you want to introduce yourself? You can turn on your mic.
Hi.
Hi, Dada.
Hi.
Hiya, how you doing? Hey, good to
See
see you,
you.
Mike.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for you and Puffy, putting this together. This is cool. Nice, musicians connecting. And I should now this might inspire me to come down to the Palo Alto sessions more often. I've only been a couple of times.
I love seeing you.
Yeah, this is great. So my music background, I grew up playing music. Sort of started playing piano when I was 4, and I thought I was going to be a professional musician, but then ran out. I wanted to, like 16, I wanted to be a rock star and all of that. But ran off to India when I was 20 to become a monk. So that was a slightly different direction. But the weird thing is, it's kind of come back to haunt me. Then I discovered the guitar, and I found out that I could actually sing, and now I've actually had a sort of side career. It's been a bit weird as a monk, performing. I've done some big concerts at festivals and stuff with thousands of people, and I had bands occasionally, but I don't really have time for it. I did quite a bit of that in the 80s. Had my sort of 15 minutes of fame, and then got back to songwriting and doing other stuff. But not really. I mean, sort of. A lot of people saw me play, but I never really made any money or anything. But I was able to produce some albums, and I've got a few recordings, and had a lot of, I love doing that. And of course, and Josh Friedman's been a big inspiration for me. He's a friend of, I know some of you know him. We've written quite a few songs together, and that's really sort of revived my whole songwriting flow. I'm thinking of doing an online concert. I'm actually going to be in a studio next week down in Los Angeles, which is just, it's a kind of nice home studio. I'm going to be doing some recording a bunch of video and audio content for other things. But I thought, well, while I'm there, why don't I do a live concert from the studio and stream it? Cool. So, thanks you guys, all of you, for the little tips we're getting. This is really handy. I'm doing a lot of online stuff with meditation, because there's this enormous demand for online meditation sessions, because everyone's anxious and stressed and worried, obviously, and they're all stuck at home, and they all want to make connection with other people. And ironically, a lot of people are finding we're more sociable now than we were before, when we were all a bit more busy. That's kind of crazy. So I've got 2 things this evening I've got to do, and I was trying to figure out how to get the sound through Zoom sounding okay. You were just talking about that, Peter. I did a test with my friend, another musician, and we're both doing Zoom stuff, so we were both trying with our guitars and seeing what sounded best. And so I've got it sounding okay, I think. I mean, I can't hear it. She says it's okay. On the other end, I'm using just a simple mic. It's a Samson something or other. It's like $100 mic, and I'm using this Focusrite interface, which is really handy. It's a very simple little thing, and it's like, again, it's about $120 or something, and it plugs into my, it's an analog digital converter thing. So I can plug my guitar into it as well. So it's got inputs, one mic input and one lead input, and so I can, it's super simple, but I can just adjust the levels. And I'm not really a sound engineer. I've done, you know, I've seen a lot of it done, and I've had to do it myself sometimes, but this is like real easy.
Yeah. Oh,
So that, and we tested that, and it works pretty well. And I actually should have the mic closer to me there, so the voice should sound better now, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it does.
definitely captures your audio more clearly. It's distance versus up close and personal. So yeah,
Yeah.
just like everybody always says, when you have a microphone miking a sound source, pretend that's where the microphone is your ear. So anywhere you are, like if we're having a conversation and I'm across the room, you're gonna have to talk louder because my
Right.
ear is picking up from across the room. So that's one way to think about it. But yeah,
So
it
the
sounds great.
microphone is an ear.
Yeah, think about
That's
it
cool.
being an ear. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when if for example, a lot of people say this too with like playing guitar, you place your microphone not inside the guitar hole, not right next to the guitar, but about 6 to 12 inches out, depending on that sound. Because if your ear was right up against that guitar and you're playing it, it would hurt. So you
Oh,
back
right.
off a little bit, the sound is more acceptable at that distance. So it's really
That's cool.
come up with that.
Yeah, well, of course, with this setup, I'm, using the line in, but of course the mic's picking up guitar as well. But it gives enough separation so I can get a balance. So it works.
Absolutely beautiful, Dada. Where can we follow you? Make sure you send a link of that stuff where we can see your live performance. If you're doing
Oh,
it from the studio, home studio, I mean that just would lock in if you're going to use the audio interface like that and just choose in your settings program that's the audio that your computer would be feeding to your digital conference or whatever.
so I just put my website in there, and also further up the chat, I put in my CD Baby link. That's where my albums are. But I don't actually know how I'm forced. I like perhaps quite a lot of us. I'm forced now to really get up to speed on all my social media stuff because
Yeah,
I do mostly live teaching and training for companies,
yeah,
and all that's cancelled, of course, for the next couple of months, and
yeah.
at least. And suddenly, okay, I've got to get my stuff online, so I'm scrambling.
Well, you know what
So,
I like about this is that people who are, obviously my kids are way more versed in it than I am, and I'm more versed in it than my father. But I feel like we're missing an entire generation of artists because they are a bit trepidous about getting online because it's new, and that's the whole point. We need to get over it being perfect. Go ahead and take risks and just ask for help. You have an entire community here that wants to assist you, and get comfortable with it because it opens up doors not just for yourself but for other generations to see more mature generations online and being comfortable in presenting their music. So I
well,
want everybody to be comfortable and join in.
that's a neat observation, Poppy. Thanks. Yeah, I think you're right. There's a whole, I'm not technophobic. I've been in studios for, thousands of
Right.
hours and stuff, but young people, if I have a problem, I ask somebody who's 25 and they solve it immediately. And I think, how did you do that?
Oh gosh, you could ask someone who's 7 now and they just pick up the
Oh,
phone. It's like they were
God.
born with it in their hand. They know what they're doing. And my kids get annoyed because I go to those soda machines that have all the multiple sodas to choose from. You have to press the button, and they're like, "Mom, just give me your cup." I'm like, "It's too much. I just want one thing to press on. Why does it have to be so complicated?" So trust me, I get it. But the more we
Yeah.
can do these kinds of things and bring everybody into the conversation, and move forward, the better and more healthy the community will be. We can connect with
Yeah,
each
you're
other.
so right. And there's so much talent in this sort of generation that's not getting heard because of the technical barrier. But now we're all forced to deal with it. So you've got, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of
Don't
musicians
underestimate
figuring it
also
out right now.
don't underestimate the mentorship that new generations are going to need. We had some young girls last night doing the Richard Harris evaluation, and I would like more opportunities like this where they could get feedback from people who have been around longer and have been constructing songs and have the capacity to help them. They're just trying to get their feet wet. So, and since we can't meet in person, we have to
Yeah.
find do it like this. So thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for making it happen.
Thank you, Dada. You're amazing.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys soon. I want probably to get ready to close this out with Mike here. Just before I let Mike close it, I just want to say I will be sending this recording out to you all. It's usually ready by tomorrow, and you'll have access to that. I won't be posting this publicly now, but going forward, Mike and I are going to look at doing these on the regular and having them available either through a YouTube channel or a website to get the message of West Coast songwriters out to a broader community. People can log in from anywhere that way. You know, you could be in Switzerland and log in. So that's our goal. And thank you for being a part of this today. And I'm going to let Mike finish up.
Oh, Poppy, thank you so much for bringing this all together and making this happen. I just want to say that I've been honored to contribute to West Coast Songwriters over the years, especially recently as the TV host for our Palo Alto chapter at the Mid-Penn Media Center with our amazing producer, Pete. Thank you so much for joining today. And now just it's been exciting today putting this together online and the online meetings like this. So thank you everyone for being here and spending time with us and contributing to this session. If you have any ideas for upcoming online meetings, please do let us know. Let West Coast Songwriters know. The West Coast Songwriters team is here for you with more events coming up online, and hopefully everything will be back to normal when we're here for the conference, or when the conference is actually here. So keep posted on the West Coast Songwriters online profiles, the emails also. Even if we're stuck at home for the next many years, we have so much content to consume and time now to focus on the things to get better at and continue refining our craft. It's just try to make this a positive time for your careers. We're an incredible community here, and even though we're all separated, we're here for each other. So I wish you all the very best always. Thank you so much for being here today.
All right. Stay well, everyone. I'm going to